From the moment we're born, we're influenced by everything we come in contact with. These things mold us and shape us into who we are. Some of these influences are such major players in everyone's lives that they have a name. I'll call them institutions. We have religious, political, and educational institutions, just to name a few. These institutions have such a strong grip on us that we might only question them once or twice in our lives. But to question is to grow. There is, however, one institution that people never question. We're told it's just the way it is and that we must accept it. We are told it can never be changed. It's such a major institution that there is no other institution in the world that isn't affected by it. And I'm talking about the monetary system, money. Today I'm going to question that system. I'll give you a brief history on money and show you exactly where it has gotten us. And then I'll ask the question, can we live without it? When currency first came to be, it was a way to simplify life. Back during trade and barter, you had to sell your goods directly to someone else for even exchange of another item. Money made it possible to sell your goods at a central location, receive the value of your items in coin, and then use that coin to buy your own needs. There was no real value to the coin, but the symbolism. It was us that put the value on that coin. It was us that began finding ways to make money off of money without any other goods or services. And this is when greed set in. This is why the Federal Reserve came to being. This is why Wall Street, loans, and credit cards exist. And we continue to let our society grow and evolve around one of the 7 deadly sins. We all know how to be ethical. Yet, when it comes to the monetary system and the free market it has created, it's close to impossible to be ethical. In a monetary system, it's survival of the fittest. You have to have money to survive. You have to work to make money. Our social systems, especially capitalism, push us to be the best we can be, or, rather, to make as much money as we can, because the bottom line is profit. When we perpetuate a system like this, we're telling ourselves that the more money you have, the better of a person you are, and when you have no money, you don't even exist. How can we expect to always behave ethically in this type of system? If you're starving, you're going to find a way to eat. If you lack the funds to do something you really want to do, you might just find a way to get the money to do it. Businesses can't run ethically either. If businesses took the time to behave ethically, they'd be out of business, because it's not cost productive to be ethical. Here's a case in point. Walmart moves into a small town, offers lower prices to the townspeople, but in the meantime, they put several mom-and-pop shops out of business, putting hundreds of people out of work because they can't compete. The town is outraged. They know it's wrong, but you have to realize that Walmart is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing in our current system. They're competing, and why should they be upset if they're winning? Isn't that the American dream? Business within the monetary system creates a gray area of morality. In life and business, we are forced regularly to undermine our morals because we have to do what we have to do to get ahead. So again, I ask, how can we expect decency in our culture as long as we keep behaving this way? Well, we think, at least in America, that we're in a democracy and we're free. Democracy is not possible in a monetary system. What carries more weight, a vote or cold hard cash? We all know that money can buy anything. We live in a dictatorship of the rich, and we're not free either. Submitting to work because you have to in order to survive, that's not freedom, that's slavery. Just think about it. Every time you punch a time clock, you're submitting yourself to a dictatorship. But I know, we just don't look at it that way. It's just how the world works. Well, I think we all understand the evils of money, so let's ask the big question. Can we eliminate the need for money? And to answer that question, we have to understand why we need it in the first place. We need money because of something called scarcity. You see, there isn't enough of everything that everybody can have, everything. And as long as there is scarcity, there is profit. I have something you want, I'm going to charge you for it. Understanding this, we realize the real question is, can we create mass abundance of everything? Yes, we can. And this is what a resource-based economy is all about. For if there is abundance of something, like the air we breathe, you can't charge for it. There is one thing since the dawn of time that has helped us, pushed us farther, and given us the ability to do things we never thought were possible. Technology. Sadly, in a monetary system, technology is greatly held back. At present, we no longer have to burn fossil fuels, but that would put the oil industry out of business, displacing thousands of workers. At present, we can provide food to everyone on the planet, but the problem is they can't all afford it. There are so many amazing technological advances that most people don't hear about, because if these advancements came to being, it would cause a drastic loss of income. Our level of technology is so high that we can provide all the necessities of life and more to everyone if we didn't have to worry about cost. Technology would also free us from labor. Jacques Fresco, founder of the Venus Project, has estimated that at our current level of technology, and if we were in a resource-based economy, we could phase out 90% of current jobs. Think about it. First off, any job that had to do with money would be gone. Bankers, cashiers, stockbrokers, investors, advertisers, and the stupid commercials they make us watch, gone. After that, we'd deploy automation. In a monetary system, automation is bad for the employee but good for the employer. But in a resource-based economy, it would be celebrated by everyone. This area is the hardest for people to understand because we can't imagine machines taking over many types of jobs, like, say, a stocker at a grocery store. We have to realize that the world would be a very different place, and many jobs simply won't be relevant. It's highly possible that a grocery store won't even exist in a resource-based economy, because food would be delivered directly to your home by other technological means. But after all that technology, we are still left with some jobs that man will have to do, but it won't be work as we know it today. For sure, they wouldn't be 40-hour-a-week assignments. Currently, 26% of Americans do volunteer work, and in a world where you actually are happy to get up every day, a world where you're provided for, that number would drastically increase, I promise you. Labor is all but solved in a resource-based economy. So then, if humans got everything they ever wanted and didn't have to work for a living, wouldn't we all become fat and lazy like in that movie WALL-E? Well, this is the main criticism I've been addressing since I joined the Zeitgeist movement. We are conditioned to believe that we would have no motivation or incentive if we didn't have to fight for our survival. Well, of course we have to think like that in this system, but it's not the truth. I have to point out what type of harm we're doing to ourselves by being employed in monotonous, repetitive jobs that really do nothing to better ourselves or mankind. They hold us back from our true potential and they rob us of our intelligence and creativity. We all have at least one talent or service we would provide for free. Imagine talking to someone from the 18th century whose only form of transportation is their own 2 feet. You tell them about planes, trains, and automobiles, and then you try to explain something like the Bix to them. Why, they would ask, would you want to run 7 miles if you didn't have to? Similarly, we don't understand why people would work if they didn't have to. New incentives and new motivations will arise. Crime and drugs are our biggest problem in modern society, but a vast majority of crime will be a thing of the past in a resource-based economy. After all, poverty is the #1 variable in crime. America is by far the most privatized and capitalistic country in the world. We also have the highest prison population. Without money, most crime would vanish overnight. Theft-related crimes are gone. Many murders are over money, so those would be gone. Many drug-related crimes would be gone, although I do imagine drugs will still exist to some extent. But imagine what would happen to drug trafficking without monetary incentive. Why risk importing and exporting illegal substances if there is nothing to be gained and everything to be lost? The only crime I can think about that would still be there would be crimes of passion. Girl catches guy cheating, girl blows guy's head off. And the criminally insane. And even these can be speculated on due to the major changes in society that would occur in a resource-based economy. We owe it to ourselves to not dismiss this as a dream. If it is even remotely possible, we have to find a way. Collapse is built into the monetary system. It won't always be here, and if you don't believe me, I invite you to research it. We need a new way before the old way falls in on itself. We have to understand that greed is not human nature, it's learned behavior. The only trait that is human nature is survival. Imagine how much would change if not just survival, but a prosperous life was promised to all mankind at birth. We have to update our society to fit modern understandings. Watch Zeitgeist Addendum and Zeitgeist Moving Forward. They explain so much more than I could do in the allotted time. I'm compressing hours, if not days, of material into roughly 10 minutes. This isn't a dream. This is real. Join the movement. Tell others. The first and hardest step is awareness. In conclusion, the world has seen many types of economic systems. We've seen fascism, socialism, communism, and capitalism, just to name a few. But all of these isms are the same at their core. They run off of money, labor, and competition. We need a new ism. The monetary system promotes self-preservation. And in that kind of world, how can we really be fair to or trust one another? The very nature of it causes unethical behavior. We submit ourselves to daily labor, although a technology does exist that could free us from it. The mere existence of money, due to presumed but false scarcity, causes too many social problems to ignore. Money exists because of scarcity, but in a time where technology can provide abundance, money is no longer relevant.